Hey everyone, welcome back to another senior CrossFit video. My name is Chandler, and usually I would have my assistant Kira here demonstrating with me, but she is not here for this video right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it on my own, so explain the movements as well as show the movements, so bear with me as we go through this. We are gonna first go through our warm-up like we normally do. So we're gonna be doing 2 rounds of 10 plate taps or 10 stair taps. We're gonna be doing 10 shoulder circles and then 5 air squats. So these are all movements that we've done before. So the first movement, the plate taps, are gonna be like this. The RX version, you put your hands on your hips, start with 1 foot up on a stair or an elevated sturdy surface. We're gonna go ahead and tap our feet 10 times, so 5 each leg. If that's too difficult for you, go ahead and just tap your foot quickly on top of the surface and then back down. 5 each leg, so 10 total. And then we're gonna move on to 10 shoulder circles. So that's gonna look like this. Go 10 forward, and then we're gonna do 10 backwards. And then we're gonna do 5 air squats. This is a movement that I'll do a lot in warm-ups because it's a base movement for a lot of the lifting movements that we'll do. So we're gonna go ahead and put our feet hip width apart, our toes slightly turned out, our arms up, squatting back into the heels, pushing our knees out. So remember, this is the RX version of an air squat. If this is too much for you, go ahead and squat halfway. And if you need to, feel free to use a chair to squat into. We prefer that you would try to do the half squat without the chair, just to work on that movement without having anything below you to make you feel more comfortable. So we're gonna be doing that 2 rounds. Once you're done with that, pause the video, come back, and we're gonna go ahead and move on to the stretching portion. Once you're done with that warm-up, we're gonna go ahead and do our stretching movements before we get into the workout. So the first thing that we're gonna do is 5 hip circles. So this is a dynamic warm-up. It's gonna be 5 circles going one direction, and then you're gonna rotate back the other direction. So 5 each way. Then when we're done with that, we're gonna go ahead and do a standing quad stretch, which we've done before. Please use the back of a chair, the side of a chair, the side of a couch, something that's sturdy, you feel comfortable, just in case you need for balance. I'm gonna go ahead, grab my foot, and then try to pull my knees parallel to each other. That's our end goal. You should really feel this stretch through your quad and your hip flexor. Hold this for about 10 to 15 seconds, and then we'll go ahead and we will switch sides and switch legs. 10 to 15 seconds on this side. If you struggle grabbing that foot and getting up, feel free to use the chair to put your foot up. Oh, let me do the other one. Put your foot up so that you can squat down or lean back to grab your ankle and then pull it up. Just a modification for you. Then the last thing that we're gonna do is our wide stance chest stretch. Another one we've also done before. Go ahead and spread your legs out onto the back of a chair, a countertop, the back of a couch. We're gonna go ahead and let our head drop through our shoulders and really let our body fall into the movement, trying to push our chest through, opening the shoulders and the chest. It's gonna look like this. And if you're really doing that stretch well, you will feel it in your hamstrings on top of your shoulders and your chest. So we'll hold that for about 10 to 15 seconds. Feel free to go back and re-watch me showing these, then pause the video. Once you're done, come back to us and we'll move on to the workout of the day. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and go over our WOD, or our workout of the day. It is gonna be a 10-minute EMOM, which is every minute on the minute. So we're gonna have 2 movements that you're gonna have to do. It's gonna be 5 overhead squats and 5 upright rows. 2 movements that we've done before. We have an entire video on how to do the overhead squat correctly. I am gonna demo it for the video. If you want a more in-depth version of what you should be doing, please go back to our course and watch that one before you do this workout. Okay, so to set up our arms, you're gonna go ahead and lift your knee up and then spread your arms as far as they will go while they're straight, while you're still able to grip onto the bar. You're going to set your feet hip width apart, turn your toes slightly out, just like we would set up for an air squat. And we're going to go ahead and bring that bar overhead. And we're going to sit back into the squat, just as if we're sitting into a chair, into the heels, and then come back out, pushing our knees out as we drive up through the squat. So one more time. And then we'll do it from the side. So see, my hips are dropping back. My heels are staying on the ground. And my chest is staying up. If you can't go all the way down in the movement, no problem. You can go ahead and do a half squat. Or if you need to, you can do it into a chair or onto an elevated surface as well. We prefer if you practice doing the half squat just so you get comfortable doing the movement that way without anything behind you. But for safety reasons, if you do need that balance, please grab it. So the next thing that we're gonna do is the upright row. So 5 of these. So go ahead and measure your thumbs, your hands hip distance apart or thumb distance apart. Go ahead and spread your feet out. We're gonna go ahead and keeping that PVC pipe as close to the body as we can. We're gonna be pulling it up towards the chin, trying to keep our elbows high and outside. And from the side, really focus on keeping those abs tight and the booty tucked under. We want a really strong core for this so that we're not leaning forward and doing it or leaning back and doing it. We want to make sure everything is tight. So we're going to be doing 5 of those. So again, this is a 10-minute EMOM. So every minute you're going to do 5 overhead squats, then 5 upright row, and then whatever time you have left is rest for the rest of the minute. And then at the top of minute 2, you're going to start back over, do 5 overhead squats, and then 5 upright row, all the way until you finish those 10 minutes. Once you're done with the workout, feel free to come back to this video. Use the timer they have provided on the screen for you there to go through that 10 minutes, and then we will do some cool down movements and accessory work for the day. After you guys have finished up that workout, feel free to catch your breath, grab some water, and then come back to me. We're gonna do some cool down movements before we move on to our accessory work for the day. So the first cool down movement that we're gonna do is wrist flexion and extension. Since we did have that overhead movement, really wanna work out those wrists. So we're gonna go ahead and put your hand out in front of you, use the opposite hand in front, and then pull those fingers back towards your body. We're gonna hold this for about 10 seconds. And then you're gonna go ahead and point your fingers down, grab your hair, or put your hand in front of your fingers, and then pull your fingers toward your body. Hold for about 10 seconds, and then we're gonna go ahead and switch hands and repeat the movement on the opposite side. And then once you're done with that movement, we are going to stretch out our glutes in a seated glute stretch. So feel free to sit on the edge of a chair or a couch or anything sturdy. We're gonna bring our foot over our knee, crossing as if we're sitting with a crossed leg. And then we're going to lean forward as far as we can, just until we feel a stretch in the glute and the hamstring area. We're gonna go ahead and lean forward, holding this for about 10 to 15 seconds. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Once you're done with that, switch to the other leg and repeat on the opposite side. Hold this for about 10 to 15 seconds. Once you're done with that movement, we are going to be doing a movement that is on the ground. So if you have a carpet or a soft area that you can lay onto, please get to that now. Please safely get onto the ground. If you need to use a chair or couch to get down, feel free to do so. Drop back into a lunge onto your knee, bringing the other knee down. I'm going to walk over to the mat. We're going to be laying on our side with our arms stretched out. And we're going to be doing lying hip circles today. So what you're going to do is bring your top leg up just slightly, and then we're going to do a circular motion with the leg, doing 10 circles going backwards and then 10 circles going forward. So we're going to rotate directions. And you should feel a little bit of a burn in the quad and the hamstring area and in the hip flexors. Once you're done with that, you're going to switch to the other side and repeat on the opposite side. For some added balance, go ahead and put your hand in front of you. You can either put your fingers up or your palm flat on the ground. Lift your leg up, rotating the leg forward in a circle for 10, and then backward for 10. We're gonna do that for 2 sets, so 10 on each leg, and then repeat the whole thing over again.